Okay, what's up, guys? So today I'm going to be talking about getting over a breakup. So I reckon there are multiple ways people go about it in different ways, but this is basically a guide to guidelines to how to get over your ex-girlfriend. I mean, well, we already know that women initiate about 80% of divorces, so I can only imagine what it looks like when initiating an actual breakup with a person. So a lot of you men are probably has had that talk where like you had to basically deal with the feelings that you're left with after initially leaving you. So this is basically a guide for that. Number one, keep busy. You need to like really fill your life with things that interests you, and even if it doesn't, stay disciplined and still do it. Now, one of these could be a perfect example would be working out. So what? You have 8 hours of sleep in the night. Let's say you have 8 hours of work in the day. And going to work 8 hours a day. You're still left with about 8 hours that you can do that you can use for yourself. Now, don't spend like 4 hours taking a shower, brushing your teeth, and scrolling on your phone. Just take 2 hours of your day. You take 1 hour of the day to work out. Just work out, and you don't have to do working out every day. I mean, people who work out every day are on steroids anyways. So, yeah, work out every day. Put a day and rest in between at the same time. Just do a full body workout and see what you look like in a year. I think that's a really good thing. You probably forgot some hobbies that you were doing. So if I had to equate it to my life before I before I got sucked in and then completely lost myself, it was playing guitar, drawing. Um, the hobbies that you're forgetting. I don't necessarily need to tell you that you're not doing the things that you want to do, and you may not feel like doing them, but like I swear, once you're actually in it, once you're actually doing the things that you need to do, that you want to do, that you know that you want to do, but you just don't have the energy or the time for it, then just do it. You'll enjoy it while you're doing it. You know. This is an important one, and if you're like me, you can definitely you can definitely relate with this one. I feel no porn, prawn. Um. So yeah, if you're anything like me, if you're like an anxiously attached person to, and it does take some understanding. If you're anxiously attached, look it up on the internet. What does that mean? There's a few different ones, but I'm definitely an anxiously attached person where I don't know. I just miss people essentially. I really miss people, and I'm afraid that they're just gonna leave all the time. Um. So yeah, if you're that type of person, if you watch porn, even if you go at bars and like interact with women with a certain goal in mind, then you won't reach that, and you don't reach that goal of like taking them to bed or anything like that, putting that pressure on you to actually succeed in that certain type of way, then you're just gonna miss her. You're just gonna miss her so much. It doesn't work. Stay away from porn, bro. It's not good for us, anyways. You know. But yeah, it'll just like make you miss her. Get the sexuality out of your life. If you are wanting to interact with women, interact with them in a blasé way, where there aren't any how would you say, requirements for you to reach or things for you to do. So like if I had to equate it to a situation that I had the other last night is I was just at the bar and then I did the old I think you're really beautiful. I just before I had to walk out of this bar, I just had to know what your name was. Then she told me her name. She asked for mine. We shook hands, and I asked her if she worked around here a lot, and then yeah, she told me yeah, pretty much every day. And then that's it. That's all you need to do. You can walk away from that. You don't need to make her into the lady that you once had, if you know what I mean. Don't put that shit on there. Just make it blasé, and you don't need to do anything. You just need to talk if you want to talk with women, that is. And this is one number three. This is one thing that a lot of guys tend to definitely not do. Women are a big fan of this. You see it. It's why they buy candles, and this is what I call getting your funk on. Now, getting your funk on is you know how ladies put on eye masks and fucking all the stuff that they need to put on their face in order to um just feel good about themselves. That's the goal, and you can do that too as a man. So yeah, what I usually do when I'm getting my funk on is I clean myself up. I have an extensive showers. Some showers can take fucking 20 minutes, 30 minutes even if that. Like you soap yourself twice. You make sure that you're just squeaky clean and you feel good about yourself after that. Um, I also like to indulge in fragrances. Now Kevin Samuels does this a lot. If you know him, he's on YouTube as well. I highly recommend his channel. Kevin Samuels talks about getting your funk on, putting on some good music that makes you feel good about yourself. Now, don't put on any sad music, please. Just don't do that shit. There's a time and place, and I'll tell you when the time and place is. But getting your funk on is definitely not the time for playing playing a depresso espresso disco vibe thing. No. Um. So yeah, you just need to feel good about yourself in that way. Number four is to build your network. Now, you probably had lots of friends before this, and if you're anything like me, you're anxiously attached. You need to do everything for this person so she does not leave, which is a paradox in itself because they tend to leave when you do that. Um, you need to build your network again. Call up some of your friends. Call up some of your best friends that you really that you definitely know have your back, and not necessarily walk into their life like, oh, here I am again, but let them know what happened. Let admit that it wasn't necessarily the best for you, and build your network. And that's not the only way to build your network. Another one is to get into clubs. So you can get into jiu-jitsu. That's a really famous one. And Joe Rogan talks about it a lot. It's probably like one of the more trending things now, but you don't necessarily have to get to jiu-jitsu. It also teaches you how to fight, so it gives you that self-confidence that you can carry yourself pretty well. So yeah, get into a club, get into a ping pong club. I love ping pong, you know. Get into a martial arts club, get into karate. Self-defense is really good, and karate is not necessarily the best self-defense in the world, but it teaches you technique. It teaches you to go hard at something, and it gives you a roadmap of what to do. Follow it. I mean, I think men are born born in companies, like battalions. Obviously, you have obviously we all have leadership qualities, and if we don't, those can be honed. But at even the best leader is one who can really, really follow orders to the T. And once you can follow orders and then build your leadership qualities, you know what it's like to follow an order, and you know what it's like to give out an order. Then you know what an order is, from top down to bottom. Ever since the dawn of time, men have been in groups or in armies. Getting to JoJo doesn't make a difference. This is an important one that even I struggle to do. Uh, Sometimes I go 2 days without 2 days without sleeping, and then just have a big sleep on the third night of it, and then reset and do it again. But getting a really good night's sleep is essential for you to actually function every day as a human being. 8 hours, and when you allocate yourself 8 hours, you're not really sleeping 8 hours. You're probably spending like 30 minutes to an hour trying to fall asleep, and then you wake up several times in the middle of the night and you don't even know it. So you're not actually getting that REM sleep that you need so desperately. Allocate 9 hours, Try and get as much sleep as you can because that's really needed in a human being. It makes you tackle the day with more energy and more hope, for lack of a better analogy. Next is to journal your feelings. Get a journal. People always say that a journal is way more patient than a person is. And you're probably going to be thinking about these feelings for quite a while, you know? It's probably always on the back of your mind, occupying or sharing attention with everything else that you're thinking of. I could be at work dealing with an email, and sometimes girlfriend, ex now. That's what goes through my mind, you know. And you probably and you yes, you do want to tell your friends about what you're going through. That's absolutely essential, but you don't want to tell them every day. You don't want to always try to bring down the room when you don't need to. You have to have kind of a little bit of strength in yourself to actually get over things by yourself, because nobody's gonna push you up that hill. I mean, sometimes you may get a person to actually help you in that way, but at the same time, it's not gonna be forever. You need to be the person that you need. You really do. Now, Andrew Huberman, that's another great channel on the internet, on the internet, on YouTube, and he has these findings that men and women get over breakups in a different way. So it's like women. I mean, it's probably because they're designed to. Since the dawn of time, men have been invading villages, pillaging, raping, and then having the women that they raped, sorry, that they are worded, help people. What? What did I just say? Having the women love them, So a woman is capable of l- loving someone who had just killed his husband and just sexually assaulted her. They're capable of falling in love with that man. So, and I can give you a bunch of different scenarios, but essentially, women are made to survive in that context where they have to survive because they ain't got no hands. You know, they can't fight. You can face up a 20-year-old and a 14-year-old boy. The 14-year-old boy would wreck her. So what do? They need to survive, and the ways that they can survive is to use what they got. So what do they got? Their femininity, their attractionness. Men are really into beauty, so they use that. You know, they got over relationships faster because they had to. Whereas men, we're designed to protect. So this is essentially the finding is women get over breakups way faster than men do. And men, they don't really get over the breakup. And it's partly because as well that men don't necessarily like, and I'm guilty of this, but men don't feel their feelings. Men do this thing, and I've been doing this thing for like a while now, where it's like get on the work, just focus on the work, focus on the work that you have in front of you, and nothing else matters. You don't need to feel your feelings and overcome them. Working is overcoming them, and it's not. So what I've done is I allocate a little bit of time for me to feel my feelings. I even made a sad playlist, and I know this is gonna sound corny as fuck, but it works. Definitely works. You're gonna have to have these types of things, and and that's the difference. With men, we won't really get over her, but at least some of the pain sheds away after the fact. If you embrace your feelings and be stoic about it, you don't necessarily have to cry, but just know and really enamor yourself in the situation that you're in instead of distracting yourself all the time, you know? And this last one will probably resonate with a lot of y'all. And the last one is getting red pilled. And red pill to me isn't necessarily just, it's not just letting other people, or it's not just understanding a woman's nature, it's just understanding your own, you know? Um, Essentially, you have to understand human nature, and it just kind of goes back to what I said with, and even in evolutionary psychology, that's another really good thing to get into. But the point is to understand human nature. It's a science, therefore, you can predict accurately what will happen next because you've done the experiment. And humans living in society is just one big experiment. You just have to see what the outcomes are. And the outcomes are pretty, the truth hurts, Nobody wants to accept the truth, but that's a really good thing to embrace. It's essential to embrace. And once you get a little bit of a feel of what human nature is, you may get angry of it, but it'll give you more of an understanding of why things happened the way they did, even in your relationships. Now, I think I I personally think a really good channel for this on YouTube would be Entrepreneurs in Cars. That's a really top channel. And this is it's just like an old guy. To be honest, he kind of looks like my, my dad who passed away a few years ago. He is he's just this old guy who's just he's aged like fine wine. He's just a man, G. And he talks about a red pill, what female nature is, what male nature is, what you want as a man that you don't necessarily want to admit to a woman because you want to have sex with her and you don't want her to get offended. It's really a paradox. It doesn't work. You need to be more honest. And that works for some reason. Anyways, get red pilled. See what humans. We are all animals. See what humans are really about. And I think that gives you an edge. I believe it gives you an edge. Hell, if you speak your mind about nah. If you're in a group setting where everybody has their girlfriends together, and you're just like that one guy who's like, nah, I actually want multiple different women. And come on, if you're a guy, you want multiple different women. If you had a girlfriend and she told you that you can go out and be promiscuous while I stay at home and still stay yours, they would do it. I mean, the only reason that you wouldn't do it is because you're like, oh, if I do it, she might do the same, and I'll lose her. But hey, if you're honest about that, people will laugh because it's funny because they know it's true. So yeah, do that. Get red pilled. I swear it works. I mean, red pill in itself isn't necessarily about human nature, but is also about improving yourself so that you get the best outcomes in life. So it definitely can't hurt. Trust me. Well, you don't have to trust me. I'm take my take the words I say with a grain of salt. Pretty young, but I feel like I've definitely gone through a lot of life experience living on my own since I was 17 and all that jazz. I mean, I'm sure like people in China and all that and other in the Asian countries that has existed has done the same, but you know.